Schools, most of our childhood is spent in here for gaining knowledge, learning, and build relationship with the other children. And even our parents pay huge amount of fees to get us admitted in these schools. But we all know that the schools and the education system is so bad and is outdated. And further, if you just search in YouTube, you would be finding many videos telling about how bad and outdated this education system is. But when I thought about it, there was another aspect that no one talks about, and that is how the schools and education system is responsible for changing our mindsets and personalities. I mean, what I meant to say is just sit for some time and self-analyze. In the past year or two, how often were you curious about learning something new? Or did you feel happy or accomplished when you learned something new? For most of them, the answer would be a big no. You know, we have 5 core fundamental human drives, and these are the reason why we are alive today. And drive to learn is one of them. Who would have thought that, right? Then if learning and satisfying our curiosity is in our essence, why are we not learning or even try to learn? Might be because we think learning is not necessary anymore, or we are scared to learn because we associate learning with something very unpleasant. And if any of the above points which I have mentioned is your reason, then my friend, congrats by this education system. Well, let me explain. Remember your school days, or when you were very young, when you used to go to school, what your parents and teachers used to say: study now or do well in your exams, then you can enjoy your summer holidays. Or they would say something like, you just need to work hard in your school and then you can chill in your college life, because school is the foundation, and later when you reach college, all the lecturers and professors would say you just need to learn and get good grades in the college and get a placement, and then you wouldn't need to learn anymore. And all of these words create picture in our mind that learning is unenjoyable. And not only that, it creates a perception that learning is only limited to schools and colleges. And so now you understand why you feel like there is no need to learn after you completed your education. You graduated from your college. And that is the reason why whenever I think about the memories from my school days or college days, I only remember the times when I used to bunk my schools or classes, or my cultural days, all the summer holidays, but never when I was in classroom. So from our childhood, we have created a very bad relationship with learning itself. Now just imagine, what if you are told something like this: learn properly, then when you grow up, you can use all these things that you learn to help others. And even if you have any problems in your life, you'd be able to solve it and get a solution to it. And learning should only be something that solves a problem. And if that's how we are told, then I think our relationship with learning would be a bit different. That means what we have been told in our childhood creates a perception about anything. Why not say something more encouraging that will create a good perception with the learning? I think that's what schools and colleges and even our parents and teachers should do. And then only for children, learning wouldn't be a chore anymore. Not only our core human drives, but our personalities and our worldviews are changed because of these schools and these colleges. Let me explain. Recently, a certain term called shame or trauma is being buzzing all around the internet. And often, when you go to any psychologist or any counselor, they would be asking our relationship with our parents. And what they do not ask is how our childhood is being spent in schools. That means the experiences that you had in the school. And why I'm saying this is because this education system is responsible for shaping up our personalities. So let us understand how the education system has changed our mindset. Now, let me ask you a question. What is the biggest marker to be successful? There may be many reasons, but the main thing is action. Yes, you just need to do it. Now let me ask the opposite. What is the biggest reason to be unsuccessful? Obviously, it's inaction. Now let's understand this more deeper. Why does someone want to be successful but are afraid to do any action? There would be many reasons to it, And the most important reason is you care about a lot what others are thinking about you. And that is called validation seeking. If you are interested in psychology, you would have heard about these two books: The Subtle Art of Not Giving and The Courage to be Disliked. And these are the best sellers. And you know what these are about? Is to make yourself stop thinking about what others think about you. Now, why I'm bringing this topic here is because the current education system is responsible for us to care a lot about others' opinions. Let me explain how. Do you remember in your schools, whenever you used to get a good grades or listen to what teachers say, you'd be appreciated well enough. But at the same time, if you did not perform well or you did not follow any rules set by the schools, you'd be severely punished. That means what they're doing here is they're giving rewards for the behaviors that what they deem is right, and they punish for the behaviors what they see is wrong. And from our childhood, that creates a perception that whatever we do, when someone appreciates us, then we are doing it right. And if anyone does not appreciate us, then we might be doing something wrong. Now just think, when you grow up with the same mindset and step into the adulthood, there are many people with different intentions all around you. And even if you do something good, they might be disapproving you or not happy with you. And when you notice that, you'll be thinking that you might be doing something wrong. And that is the reason most of us care a lot about what others think, and we develop some fears in our life, like fear of rejection and fear of failure. I think by now you have understood why did you develop validation seeking. But let us go into one step deeper. Have you ever felt uncomfortable to make a decision, or felt uneasy to make a decision on your own? Or did you lack clarity if you wanted to start something new? And also at the same time, when someone tells you to do something or gives you an instruction, you're very comfortable and are very quick to do that thing. Then my friend, that means you lack skill or courage to take an independent decisions of your own. Say, when any students ask any question to the teacher that is very difficult, they are quickly shunned and are told to follow what they have been told. Students are not allowed to talk or even go to washroom without teacher's permission. And they are told to follow rules, regulations and the school bells. And all these things would make students so good at following but not leading. And you'll be knowing a very famous quote, right? Practice makes man perfect. And from the very young age, if you're only practicing how to follow, when we are thrown into the adult world, how everyone expects us to take accountability and responsibility and make our own decisions, obviously we'll be feeling very difficult, right? And that's what the schools and colleges to say this education system is doing to us. And there are many studies and many talks and interviews from various psychologists about how schools are killing creativity from students. I don't know how many of you guys follow motivational content. There is one thing that they all say in common, that is, one should enjoy process more and not worry about output. But if we apply the same energy to students, what should we teach them? That they should only concentrate on learning and try to gain more knowledge, and marks are only side effect just to test their understanding about a particular subject. So it's subject matter what matters the more, right? But do you think that's not being taught to students nowadays? Teachers, parents and everyone would only give much emphasis on my grades. If I would get good marks, they would praise me. If I would have failed and not performed well, they would deem me as failure and not fit for anything. And that's how this system has developed. And now our personalities and mindsets are only concentrating on outcome, but not the process. And that is the reason many of the students cheat in the exams. I mean, even I agree that cheating is wrong. But if you think from the student's perspective, he might not be interested in a subject, or he did not understand what the teachers have told. But one thing he knows and understands, that if I get good grades, then only I'll be respected. And what other option has left for him? He would be choosing the alternate option, that is cheating. And I would go as far as saying, because of this insistence in the childhood, the societies are being corrupt. I mean, corruption is everywhere. It is deeply ingrained in the society. And one of the reasons is because we concentrate more on outputs than in the process. And that is being taught from our childhood, from the school systems itself. Finally, in conclusion, what I would say is that schools are not 100% responsible for all the ills in the society and whatever I've said in shaping our personalities or anything. But they play a very prominent role. I mean, if you think about it, we are not being educated, we are being trained in a certain way. Let me try to explain by giving a simple analogy. Take a circus for example. There is a lion in the circus. What does it do? It would jump out of a fire hoops and exactly follow what its trainer tells them to say and entertain all the audience who have come to the circus. Now look at the lion, which is not trained. It would be scared of fire. And we all know all animals are scared of fire. And that is the reason when we go out camping, we would set up a fire in the night. But exact opposite happens in the circus. Why is that? The simple answer is, the animals are trained in a certain way. If they do what the trainers say, they would be rewarded with food and certain treats. If they do not do what this trainer says, they would be starved and be punished. And eventually, they would learn to jump out of the fire hoop, which instinctually they are very scared of. And same happens to us humans. By default, we are very curious. We like to learn. We like to explore many things. We are very creative. But when we are dropped into this education system, we are trained in a certain way. We are rewarded for certain things and certain behaviors. And eventually, we would forget our core essence and kill our curiosity and creativity. What do you guys think? How was your experience in your schools and colleges? Please mention in the comments below.